Ju Yangchuan and I were the couple everyone envied in our social circle. He was principled, accomplished for his age, the perfect boyfriend. But as our wedding approached, he told me, "I don't want to miss my chance with the one I truly love." He left me and hastily married his lively, adorable junior from university. I left in sorrow. 3 years later, I saw Ju Yangchuan again at a high society gathering in Beijing. He no longer had the air of a privileged young master. "Shall we talk?" I chuckled lightly. "No, my husband is waiting for me." 1. I heard Jiang Nan is back. If I remember correctly, Jiang Nan was the one who initiated the breakup, right? Ju Yangchuan is now the head of the Ju family. I wonder if Jiang Nan regrets it. I had just stepped into the banquet hall when I overheard people discussing nearby. 3 years later, this was the first time I heard the truth about my breakup with Ju Yangchuan from someone else. It caught me completely off guard. Just like 3 years ago when he suddenly said out of the blue, "Jiang Nan, maybe we should call it quits." He said, "You only live once, and I don't want to miss out on the person I love." And Jiang Nan, "You're just too rigid and dull." At the time I thought he'd just said it on a whim. But the very next day he posted his marriage certificate on social media. The caption read, "Everyone deserves to live for themselves at least once." That's when it hit me. He wasn't discussing it with me that day. He was informing me of his decision. After a period of despondency, I left in low spirits to pursue further studies abroad, but it never crossed my mind that he would tell everyone I was the one who initiated the breakup. He got to keep his pristine reputation, while I was painted as the ambitious, ungrateful woman. 2. "Hey, isn't that Jiang Nan?" An old friend spotted me and came over asking, "What took you so long?" I replied. Something came up. They gathered around looking me over and remarked with admiration, "Haven't seen you in years. You keep getting more beautiful. Your skin looks dewy fresh." Absolutely. Becoming a violinist has really elevated her aura. She's a true artist now. How could us socialites ever compare? Noticing the subtle sarcasm in some friends' tones, I smiled faintly and changed the subject. After chatting for a while, someone remarked, "Ju Yangchuan is here." If Ju Yangchuan 3 years ago was a striking presence in any crowd, the current Ju Yangchuan exudes an air of exhaustion from head to toe. My friend whispered an explanation. Although Ju Yangchuan is now the head of the Ju family, he has a troublesome situation at home. Just as I was about to ask, Ju Yangchuan glanced over. Our eyes met. He paused briefly in surprise, then walked slowly toward me. "Long time no see." I gave a distant nod. "Long time no see." Our perceptive friends tactfully gave us some space. This was our first encounter since breaking up 3 years ago. Never imagined we'd meet again under such circumstances. Ju Yangchuan spoke first. "You seem to be doing well." Not bad. I heard you're holding a recital soon." "Congratulations on achieving your dream." His tone was familiar, as casual as chatting about the weather with an old friend. I gave a faint smile. "Thank you." The atmosphere suddenly grew quiet. With a brief moment of awkwardness, Ju Yangchuan was the first to break the silence. "I handled things poorly back then. I shouldn't have been so willful," I said lightly. "It's all in the past." Ju Yangchuan was about to say something more when a figure rushed over and threw themselves onto his back. "Honey." Surprise. Ju Yangchuan pressed his thin lips together and pulled her off his back. She then linked her arm with Ju Yangchuan's and extended a hand toward me. "Hello. I'm Ju Yangchuan's wife, Song Chuxia." This wasn't my first time meeting Song Chuxia. I'd seen her a few times at Ju Yangchuan's company 3 years ago. She was such a lovely young woman. Ju Yangchuan had mentioned her casually before, saying they had great chemistry. I didn't think much of it at the time, but looking back now, the signs were always there. Out of politeness, I gave her hand a gentle squeeze in return. "You two carry on, I need to step away for a moment." I went to the restroom to freshen up a bit and noticed an unread message on my phone. "If you don't come out soon, I'm coming in to find you." I replied, "Can you give me 10 more minutes?" A quick reply came through. "Fine, you owe me tonight." 3. On my way out of the restroom, I passed by a lounge. The door was slightly ajar, and I instinctively glanced inside to see Ju Yangchuan scolding Song Chuxia with a dark expression. "Must you embarrass yourself in a setting like this? Hurry home. I've got things to take care of." Song Chuxia wept so pitifully. "What else could it be? You just found out Jiang Nan is back and want to rekindle things with her, don't you?" "I won't allow it." "Ju Yangchuan, I've been with you since graduation. How could you do this to me?" Ju Yangchuan looked weary. I told you there's nothing between us. Why won't you believe me? Song Chuxia pressed on relentlessly. You've shared nearly 20 years of history with her since childhood. How am I supposed to trust you? Indeed, despite the 20 years Zhu Yangchuan and I spent growing up together, it all crumbled with his single sentence. I don't want to miss out on the one I love, having witnessed firsthand how his affections shifted. How could Song Chuxia possibly feel at ease letting him interact with me? But none of that concerns me anymore. Back in the banquet hall, a friend pulled me along to mingle with the other guests. Midway through our conversation, Zhu Yangchuan arrived with Song Chuxia. In the end, he couldn't bring himself to send away the one he loved. The two of them took their seats across from me. The conversation among friends grew strained, drifting into sporadic small talk. Song Chuxia suddenly pointed at my neck and exclaimed, "Oh my, Miss Jiang, are you hurt?" I instinctively covered my neck and replied awkwardly, "No, I'm fine." Ignoring my response, Song Chuxia walked over and tried to pry my hand away to check. "Then why is it all red?" Before I could react, she moved my hand aside, revealing the marks beneath my collar. They were clearly marks left from passionate moments. Song Chuxia shot Zhu Yangchuan a meaningful glance. I adjusted my collar with a displeased expression. Everyone present was an adult, and they all looked at Song Chuxia's actions with disdain. But Song Chuxia didn't think she had done anything improper, and she tentatively asked, "Miss Jiang, it's been so many years since you and Zhu Yangchuan broke up. You must have a boyfriend by now, right?" Before I could answer, I heard Zhu Yangchuan snap in a low voice, "If you keep causing trouble like this, I'll have someone take you home immediately." Song Chuxia said with a hurt tone, "I just wanted to check on your friend. I didn't mean any harm." Zhu Yangchuan's face darkened. "Shut up." He was about to apologize, but I stood up first and said, "I have something to take care of today. I need to go." Just as I reached the car, someone pulled me into an embrace. A deep, magnetic male voice murmured by my ear, "You're 1 minute late." I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "Qinyi, you're being so controlling. I'm being very generous by letting you meet with your ex-boyfriend." For a moment, I was at a loss for words to retort. "Want to come to my place tonight?" I nodded. As we were walking, Qinyi suddenly stopped and kissed me, cupping my chin. When the kiss ended, I glared at him angrily. Qinyi seemed to be in a good mood. "Yes, I'm here." He guided me into the car and, before closing the door, deliberately glanced toward the banquet hall with a faint smirk. I followed his gaze but saw nothing out of the ordinary. "What are you looking at?" "Nothing. This is quite a nice place." I didn't doubt it. "Yeah, this place is really nice." The next day, my friend Liu Pan called me. After catching up on how things had been over the years, she suddenly changed the subject. "I heard Zhu Yangchuan and Song Chuxia had a huge fight tonight. Zhu Yangchuan even brought up divorce. You may have been the one to initiate the breakup, but Zhu Yangchuan went and got married the very next day. That really says a lot about his character." /Pan. I said. I wasn't the one who broke up with him back then. Her. I told her what Zhu Yangchuan had said back then. Pan gritted her teeth in fury after hearing it. That bastard. All these years, he's been pinning all the blame on you. I can't stand it for another second. Just wait. I'm going to clear your name right now. Forget it. It's all in the past. 5. Maybe because I talked with Liu Pan for too long, I recalled the night when Zhu Yangchuan broke up with me. I cooked a whole table of his favorite dishes. He didn't come home until 11 o'clock. He walked right past the dining table without so much as a glance and headed straight for his study. I called after him. "Why not have dinner first before you get back to work?" He said, "I've already eaten." But that day was our anniversary. He promised to come home for dinner with me when he left this morning. I was about to say more when Zhu Yangchuan answered a call and prepared to leave. I stopped him. "It's our anniversary today." He stared at me for a long moment, so long I thought he might feel guilty, then suddenly spoke. "Jiang Nan, maybe we should call it quits." I stared at him blankly, and only after a long pause did I manage to ask why. He said, "You're too rigid and dull, Jiang Nan. We've been together since childhood and know each other too well. Besides reading and playing the violin, you have no other interests. You're so dull. I don't want to spend my life with someone who has no personality." That night he went out and never came back. I sat alone all night. It wasn't until he posted his marriage certificate on social media that I realized his words weren't just a passing mood. But I was wrong. After the breakup, I was in a slump for a long time, worried that I might spiral if things continued. My parents decided to send me abroad for further studies, hoping a change of scenery would help me clear my head, even overseas. I couldn't shake off the heartbreak. I often found myself drowning my sorrows at bars. That's when Chinyi came into the picture. He took my completely drunk self back to his place and looked after me through the night. The next morning, I woke up thinking I had slept with him and was utterly devastated, but he calmly said, Chinyi, have more integrity than to take advantage of someone in that state. When he found out my school was near his company, Chinyi often came to pick me up for meals. Before long, we became friends. We crossed that line 6 months ago, right after I passed my grade 10 violin exam. When he walked me back to campus after I treated him to dinner, he suddenly turned to me and asked earnestly, "I've been pursuing you for so long, don't you think it's time to make it official?" Looking at this exceptionally capable and charming man standing before me, I got caught up in the moment and said yes. 6. On the day Ju Yangchuan asked to meet, I was helping a friend try on wedding dresses. I gave him the address of the bridal shop. By the time he arrived, I had already changed into casual clothes. He suggested we go sit across the street for a while. Let's just stay here. If Chinyi, that walking vinegar jar, finds out I'm meeting him alone, it'll be a whole mess. As I sat on the couch, a jolt of electric pain shot through my upper thigh. Chinyi didn't hold back at all when he bit me. The aftermath is really hitting hard. I grabbed a soft cushion to sit on and asked him, "Is there something you needed to discuss in person?" Ju Yangchuan produced a jewelry box. "This belongs to you. I'm returning it to its rightful owner." Inside was the engagement ring he had given me all those years ago. I stared coldly at him. "What's this supposed to mean? This is your ring. I have no right to decide what happens to it. No one keeps an engagement ring after a breakup. Ju Yangchuan is just trying to get under my skin," fuming. I grabbed the cup on the table and took a sip of water. Whether I drank too hastily or something, I choked and started coughing violently. Ju Yangchuan moved to pat my back, but a large hand reached out faster than his to soothe me. "No need to trouble yourself, Mr. Ju, my girlfriend just choked a little." Ju Yangchuan frowned. "She hasn't eaten anything just now. How could she be choking? From this morning, a large fish bone. She was choking for 20 minutes before she coughed it up." Ju Yangchuan looked bewildered at first, but soon his handsome face tightened. The veins on his clenched fists bulged, revealing subtle signs of simmering rage. The two men stood facing each other, neither backing down. After what felt like an eternity, I finally collected myself and said to Ju Yangchuan, "Mr. Ju, you can keep this if you want, or throw it away. It's entirely up to you." After leaving the bridal shop, I took Chinyi's hand and said, "Don't be upset. I had no idea he would bring that thing with him." Chinyi's jaw tightened. "You met him in private, but this is your turf, Chinyi. He's in my past. There's no chance for us now, and there never will be." Though Chinyi kept a straight face, the slight curve at the corner of his mouth gave him away. I linked arms with him. "I've saved you a great seat for tomorrow's concert. That's more like it." 7. On the day of the concert, Ju Yangchuan showed up, through the crowd. I saw him being escorted to the seat right next to the exclusive one I'd reserved for Chinyi. I might have imagined it, but I saw Ju Yangchuan flash Chinyi a provocative smile. Chinyi paid him no mind, his gaze fixed calmly on the backstage area. I summoned my assistant and gave a couple of instructions. Shortly after she left, someone approached Chinyi, whispered something to him, and then escorted him to the finest private room on the second floor. Ju Yangchuan's triumphant expression instantly darkened, but I couldn't care less. After the performance, I went backstage to wait for Chinyi. To my surprise, it wasn't Chinyi who showed up, but Ju Yangchuan. He held a bouquet of flowers and said, "Jiangnan, you look absolutely stunning today. I didn't accept them, thank you. But I'd rather not take the flowers to avoid any unnecessary complications. Is it because you're worried he might misunderstand?" "Yes, you've changed," he said. "You weren't like this before." "No, I've always been like this." After we got together, I kept my distance from all members of the opposite sex to avoid giving him the wrong idea. He pursed his thin lips as if remembering something. "So now, are you keeping your distance from me?" "Yes." A flicker of pain crossed his eyes but vanished quickly. "I came to tell you there's a university reunion in a couple of days. Everyone hopes you can come." I nodded. "I'll be there. I get along well with my college classmates. And I wasn't going to miss the chance to hang out with them just because of Ju Yangchuan. As soon as Ju Yangchuan left, Qin Yi came right in. His expression was unreadable, making it impossible to tell whether he was angry or not. I told them about Ju Yangchuan coming over. Qin Yi's expression remained blank. Are you going to attend? Yeah, it's been a while since we last met. Oh, seeing him put on that act of restraint, I couldn't help but find it amusing. I took his hand, no longer teasing him. I want you to come with me. The whole point of this trip back home was to prepare for our engagement and wedding, so it was the perfect opportunity to introduce Qin Yi to my friends at the class reunion. All those rumors about me would be debunked. On the day of the class reunion, Qin Yi cleared her schedule and made time specifically to be with me. Just as I was about to head out, I got a call from Liu Pan. Jiang Nan, I just got word that we can't bring +1s today. I asked around, and they said this gathering was organized by Ju Yangchuan. He's the one who said no +1s. This is absolutely outrageous. Everyone brought their families in previous years. Is he pulling this stunt just to keep his wife from coming? Liu Pan and the others believed Ju Yangchuan orchestrated this whole scheme to prevent his wife from attending. But deep down, we all knew he was targeting Qin Yi. I turned my gaze toward Qin Yi. A cold, sinister glint flashed in Qin Yi's eyes as his lips curved into a smirk. Let's see what kind of trouble he can stir up. 8. Qin Yi made a few phone calls before heading out with me. When we reached the private room, Qin Yi had me go in first, saying he'd join shortly. I was about to knock when I heard someone inside mention my name. I heard all about it. Jiang Nan found herself some 60-year-old overseas. What's the point of living well now when it's bought with her body, with a model's figure like Jiang Nan's? What man wouldn't be captivated? If I had that body, I'd pick a wealthy one too. Ju Yangchuan, I heard you've met her man. Ju Yangchuan's voice was ice cold. Never seen her. Then the rumors must be true. TSK. Good thing you broke up with her early. That kind of woman is nothing but trouble. Ju Yangchuan must have seen it coming. How many times would he have been cheated on otherwise? Exactly. Compared to Jiang Nan, Song Chuxia definitely knows how to play the game, right? Brother Chuan. Ju Yangchuan seemed to smile faintly. Life shouldn't be too dull. I've never seen this side of Ju Yangchuan before. He's always been reasonable and knew his boundaries. But now he's willing to go against his conscience for personal gain. Completely unrecognizable from the person he used to be. It sends chills down my spine. The moment I pushed the door open, everyone stopped and stared at me. I walked straight up to Ju Yangchuan and slapped him across the face. The lively private room instantly fell into an eerie silence. Ju Yangchuan stared at me in stony silence, his face dark. His friend spoke first. Jiang Nan, what are you trying to pull here? I looked at Ju Yangchuan. When you broke up with me and then went around bad-mouthing me, I didn't hold it against you because I didn't know the truth. But now that you know everything, you're still joining them in throwing mud at me. Ju Yangchuan, I really look down on you. His buddies couldn't stay quiet any longer. Hey, Jiang Nan, what are you talking about? Chuan just stated a few simple truths. Was it really necessary to lose your temper? I suppressed my anger and retorted. Then tell me, which part of what he said was actually true? The part where he broke up with me one night and married someone else the very next day, or when he brought that old ring over recently just to mess with me and my fiancé? Everyone exchanged bewildered glances. Ju Yangchuan's carefully crafted public persona over the years has been so effective that some people still defend him. Jiang Nan, I know you can't get over Ju Yangchuan, but you were the one who cheated first. Weren't you? Exactly, Jiang Nan, however much you regret it now, don't go breaking up someone else's family. No matter what others said, I remained unmoved, my gaze fixed steadily on Ju Yangchuan. The atmosphere in the private room grew increasingly unsettling. Someone tugged at my sleeve, signaling for me to let it go. Then Ju Yangchuan finally broke his silence since I'd entered. Jiang Nan, stop dwelling on the past. I savored those words and suddenly burst out laughing. Ju Yangchuan's eyes darkened slightly. It's rare for everyone to get together like this. Let's not spoil the mood. Years ago, I brought Ju Yangchuan to meet my parents. His flawless performance made me hold my head high in front of my parents. But after he left, my parents sat me down and said with grave concern, Nan, he's far too shrewd. If things don't work out between you two, he'd know exactly how to twist the knife. At the time, I was completely infatuated with Ju Yangchuan and wouldn't hear a word of it. I even tried to reassure them, saying that Zhu Yangchuan would never turn that knife on me, no matter what. Looking back on that scene now, the irony is just overwhelming. As I stared at this two-faced man and was about to speak, a figure came rushing toward me. You bitch, Jiang Nan, I knew you still had designs on Zhu Yangchuan. After all these years, how can you still be eyeing someone else's husband? Is that old fossil of yours at home not enough for you? Song Chuxia lunged at me with such speed that I had no chance to dodge. Just as she was about to crash into me, a strong hand pulled me into an embrace. 9. Song Chuxia halted before me, eyeing the man behind me with a sour expression. Oh, and who's this new fling of Jiang Nan's? No wonder they say unmarried women have it easy. She can always find a man to latch onto wherever she goes. The man she was referring to was now anxiously checking me for injuries. I took his hand and turned to face Song Chuxia. Miss Song, I said sharply, if you're going to make a scene, at least pick the right occasion. This is our class reunion, please don't cause trouble. Song Chuxia's expression shifted as she turned to look at Zhu Yangchuan. Seeing that Zhu Yangchuan showed no intention of kicking her out, she immediately broke into a smile again. But this gathering was organized by my husband. What can I do? If you don't like it, you're free to leave. Liu Pan's voice chimed in at just the right moment. Exactly, this is Zhu Yangchuan's gathering. And we all agreed not to bring partners. How come everyone else followed the rule, but you get to bring yours? So you just invited us here to watch you two lovebirds flaunt your relationship. As soon as Liu Pan spoke up, several female classmates who disliked Song Chuxia quickly chimed in agreement. Seeing the situation turning increasingly against Zhu Yangchuan, Song Chuxia hurriedly explained, that's not what I meant. She tried to explain, but her words came out in a frantic, incoherent jumble. Finally, she cast a pleading look toward Zhu Yangchuan. Meanwhile, Zhu Yangchuan's expression had turned absolutely thunderous. With a dark scowl, he hissed at Song Chuxia, haven't you humiliated us enough already? One moment Song Chuxia was smug that Zhu Yangchuan hadn't kicked her out, the next she felt like she'd been plunged into an ice cellar. Biting her lip with tears welling in her eyes, she whimpered, husband. Zhu Yangchuan stared back at her icily. Gone was the considerate and caring man she once knew. Song Chuxia bit her lip, her voice trembling with tears as she pleaded, I'll just sit here beside you and won't do anything. Please don't make me leave. Okay, Liu Pan was the first to object. Since none of us brought family members, no one should get special treatment, don't you all agree? And Miss Song, these rules were personally tailored for you by your dear husband himself. Song Chuxia shot Liu Pan a venomous glare, yet found herself unable to refute his words. Just then, a crisp voice cut through the air. How about this? I'll host everyone and their families for some relaxation at the Golden Splendor penthouse. As if suddenly noticing Qinyi's presence, the group collectively shifted their attention toward him. Who's this guy? He looks so unfamiliar. Jiang Nan, who is he? I linked arms with Qinyi and introduced, this is my fiancé, Qinyi. The crowd was stunned. I overheard someone say, didn't they say Jiang Nan was with some old geezer? Could it be that Jiang Nan hired him as a plant? To clear her name, Liu Pan couldn't take it anymore. Use your heads for once, he snapped. Think carefully about who you first heard those rumors about Jiang Nan from. After a brief silence, everyone's eyes turned to Song Chuxia in unison. Song Chuxia glanced from one person to another, before finally settling her gaze on Zhu Yangchuan. But he didn't even spare her a glance. Liu Pan chuckled. Weren't you spreading rumors about Jiang Nan with all your might before? What's made you clam up now? Perfect timing, she's right here. Go on, say it to her face. We can have it out right now. Just as I thought, birds of a feather flock together. What did Jiang Nan ever do to you two to deserve you tarnishing her reputation like this? She was truly fortunate, resilient enough to endure until she met her fiancé. Song Chuxia left in tears. As soon as she was gone, someone came up to ask me, Jiang Nan, is this really your fiancé? The person said with envy. We were all misled by Song Chuxia. A wonderful girl like you definitely deserves someone better. I nodded with a smile. As she spoke, her gaze drifted unconsciously toward Zhu Yangchuan. Some people cheat on their partners and still expect others to take the blame. Zhu Yangchuan sat expressionless on the sofa, his thoughts completely unreadable. Meanwhile, his friend was growing visibly restless. Jiang Nan, where did you dig up this clueless fool? Bragging about going to the Golden Palace's penthouse, do you even know what kind of social standing it takes to get in there? I heard the penthouse has private rooms reserved for the Qin family's crown prince. They're not open to the public. Why don't you have your fiancé pull some strings to give us a tour? The moment the words landed, the group of men burst into raucous laughter. Jiang Nan, next time at least find a plant who knows the basics. Save yourself the embarrassment. Zhu Yangchuan glanced toward Qin Yi, but quickly averted his gaze. Liu Pan had heard enough and walked over to me. Jiang Nan, let's go, whether they come or not is their business. I don't want to miss the chance to visit the top floor of the Golden Palace. As soon as she moved, several other female classmates followed suit. Zhu Yangchuan, who had been silent all along, suddenly spoke up. Jiang Nan, there's no need to escalate a minor issue beyond the point of no return. If you're really set on going, I can just make a call. Not much has happened since I returned to the country, but it's been enough to make me see Zhu Yangchuan in a whole new light. I brushed off his suggestion with detached politeness and left with a few female classmates, probably hoping to see some drama unfold. Zhu Yangchuan's buddies trailed after us too, 10, Zhu Yangchuan included. When we reached the Golden Splendor, he seized the moment while Qin Yi was away to approach me. You've changed. You never used to care about these material things. I knew exactly what he was referring to. In the past when he was busy with social engagements, I never made these requests. I didn't want to distract him, let alone ask him to pull strings just to satisfy my petty vanity. He glanced at Qin Yi, who was taking a call not far away, and said, Jiang Nan, he's not right for you. I couldn't help but cut him off. Whether he's right for me or not is my business. You don't need to worry about it. Zhu Yangchuan frowned slightly. What good does it do to be angry with me right now? You'd be better off thinking about how to cover up his lies, so you won't be embarrassed in the class group chat later. Zhu Yangchuan's friends all claimed I'd never find anyone better after leaving him, so he was convinced Qin Yi couldn't measure up to him. In his eyes, how could an accomplished young man ever be interested in someone as rigid and dull as me? I simply smiled without responding to his doubts. No one understands Qin Yi's capabilities better than I do. Besides, Golden Splendor is the Qin family's business. Whatever he wants is just a matter of saying the word. Qin Yi was on the phone for quite a while, and when he returned, he didn't look too good. Zhu Yangchuan glanced at him and said calmly, The penthouse requires a reservation. Let me make a call to check. He stepped aside to make a phone call. I asked Qin Yi if he was having some trouble. He explained it was a work-related issue. Just then, Zhu Yangchuan showed up again. A flicker of something unreadable passed through his eyes as he looked at Qin Yi. Let's go somewhere else. The penthouse here has been reserved, but Qin Yi insisted. No need, everything's already set up upstairs. Let's go. Zhu Yangchuan stopped him. Don't bring Jiang Nan into this. She's easily embarrassed and can't handle you making a scene like this. With that, he moved to grab me. The moment I reached out, Qin Yi wrapped his arm around my waist and pulled me into his embrace. The atmosphere between the two men instantly turned tense. This scene caught the attention of our classmates. Zhu Yangchuan's friends, upon learning what had happened, started mocking Qin Yi. See, I told you there's no way someone with no connections could get up to the penthouse. Only you guys would believe that. Well, this is just perfect. We've made a complete spectacle of ourselves. Brother Chuan, don't you know Manager Deng here? Give him a call and see if he can grant him access to go up and take a look around. Speak of the devil, isn't that Manager Deng right there? Brother Chuan really has some pull. The manager rushed over but bypassed Zhu Yangchuan, stopping directly in front of Qin Yi. Wrong person. Manager Deng, Brother Chuan is right here. Yet Manager Deng completely ignored his words and instead addressed Qin Yi with utmost deference. Apologies for keeping you waiting. I'll escort you there immediately. Qin Yi gave a slight nod. Much obliged. Zhu Yangchuan's friend thought Manager Deng had mistaken the person and pointed at Zhu Yangchuan, saying, This is the one who called you just now. You've got the wrong person. Manager Deng. Manager Deng finally looked at him and frowned. So it's young Master Zhu. Are you all here to have some fun too? Zhu Yangchuan, right, his buddy. Brother Chuan just called you about the penthouse. Manager Deng, oh, that. The penthouse has already been reserved by our young master. If young Master Zhu wants it, he'll have to wait until tomorrow. Then Manager Deng said to Qin Yi, Young Master, everything is ready. Let me show you the way. Young Master, could he be? The crowd's gazes toward Qin Yi shifted repeatedly. Finally, They all fell silent at once. It was clear that neither Zhu Yangchuan nor his brothers had expected Qin Yi to be from the Qin family. Then again, he had been abroad for years, so few people back home knew of him. That night, Zhu Yangchuan and his brothers forced themselves to stay until the very end of the gathering. In stark contrast, Liu Pan and her friends thoroughly enjoyed mocking them all night long. Thanks to them, Zhu Yanchuan's behavior tonight spread like wildfire, causing his reputation in the circle to plummet. Of course, all this came to light later. After the class reunion, Qin Yi began taking over the family business. 11. Even when swamped with work, he'd still make time to send me messages and prepare little surprises. Had I not dropped by his office unannounced that day, I might never have found out about his fight with Zhu Yangchuan. When he saw me coming, he tried to avoid me. Only when he had nowhere left to hide did he finally tell me the truth. Zhu Yangchuan had asked to meet him. And they started throwing punches without exchanging a single word. I silently applied the ointment to him. "Are you angry?" Qin Yi asked. I wouldn't dare. Even as I said this, I unconsciously pressed down a bit harder. Qin Yi gasped sharply. He pulled me into his arms and explained, "That's just how men handle things. He won't bother you again." "Qin Yi," I called out to him. "Zhu Yangchuan is ancient history to me. Don't waste your time on him." He chuckled. "Then what should we do?" "He's got his eye on you now," I retorted impatiently. "What he thinks is his business. It's not like you can control his mind." A smile danced in Qin Yi's eyes. "Not angry anymore. He didn't fare any better than me." I made sure to hit him where it wouldn't show. I gently poked the bruise at the corner of his mouth. "So you just let him hit you where it's visible?" Qin Yi didn't even deny it. "That way you'd feel sorry for me. I have a business trip tomorrow. Come with me, all right?" Qin Yi thought I was upset and tried every trick in the book to cheer me up. I shook my head. I had no choice but to give in to him. To my surprise, I ran into Zhu Yangchuan during my business trip. What caught me even more off guard was Song Chuxia being there too. The hotel had hot springs, and while I was soaking in one, I heard Song Chuxia's voice. She was talking to a friend. "That little bitch Jiang Nan just won't go away. She thinks finding some flashy guy will break me and Zhu Yangchuan apart. Has she forgotten how I stole Zhu Yangchuan from her in the first place? She has no idea all the money she's been too stingy to spend has ended up in my pocket." Zhu Yangchuan called her dull and boring. "Nonsense, she's just plain stupid," her friend remarked. "You're the one with the skills to keep Zhu Yangchuan wrapped around your finger." Song Chuxia sighed. "Don't even mention it. Now that she's back, I have to stay on high alert, or I'll lose my position as Mrs. Zhu. If she hadn't suddenly returned, I wouldn't have had to pull out all the stops to cling to Zhu Yangchuan and follow him here. When it comes down to it, a woman's last resort is to make a scene, crying, arguing, even threatening the unthinkable. I never realized how contemptible I was in Zhu Yanchuan's eyes. It turns out he was actually holding back when he said those things to me. But if he looks down on me so much, why has he repeatedly sought me out since I returned to the country? After returning from my business trip, I took a box from the corner of the study. 12. This box contains all the memories from my time with Zhu Yangchuan. After I went abroad, it was sealed away here. If not for Song Chuxia's words, I might never have opened it again. I took an old phone and a few memory cards from the box, and threw away the rest. The memory cards were still intact, and the phone powered on after charging. I transferred everything from the memory card and dialed a number. The next day, I was woken up by the noise. The Zhu family had arrived. They were making a scene in the living room, demanding an explanation from me. As I finished getting ready and came downstairs, Zhu Yanchuan's parents both grabbed my hands. "Jiang Nan, please be the bigger person and don't hold it against Xiao Chuan, all right?" "That's right, Jiang Nan. You two were together once after all. How could you cut off his escape routes like this? Please take down those videos online." I subtly pulled my hands away and walked over to stand by my parents. "Uncle, Auntie, I assume Zhu Yangchuan sent you here. Please tell him I'm simply seeking justice in my own way, nothing more. Nothing less." Zhu Yanchuan's parents seemed stunned by my blunt admission. Momentarily frozen in place, I continued calmly. "Zhu Yangchuan cheated first, slandered me afterward, and now he's using flimsy excuses to assault my fiancé." Before I could finish, my mother abruptly stood up. "What? My son-in-law got hurt. Where is he injured? Is it serious?" My father slammed the table and stood up, outrageous. How dare you Jews assault someone and then have the gall to play the victim? This is beyond insulting. Steward, throw these two out immediately. The Jew parents realized something was wrong, but it was already too late. When they were thrown out, they barely had time to beg me to delete the online videos and chat logs. I had no idea those chat logs and videos even existed. It was Song Chuxia who told me. She called me an idiot for being too trusting of Ju Yangchuan, said I never bothered to check the surveillance footage. Every time I check the surveillance footage from any given day, I find videos of her carrying on a clandestine affair with Ju Yangchuan. She even claimed that old phone was Ju Yangchuan's dedicated device for flirting with her, but he told me it was his work phone. Little does Ju Yangchuan know that the partner he so carefully chose would end up being such a liability. My mother has always doted on Qin Yi as her future son-in-law. Even after kicking him out, she fumed, "Isn't your son so capable? Let him handle it then. Why bother coming to us for help?" After Ju Yangchuan hastily married Song Chuxia back then, I went through a period of deep depression. It's not like my parents didn't plead with the Ju family in person, begging them to send Ju Yangchuan to see me. But do you know what they said? "My son is such a catch, he's never short of women around him. If he had to deal with this kind of mess every time a relationship ends, when would he ever have time for his career? Your daughter was only with my son for 2 years. It's not like she didn't get anything out of their relationship during that time. Anyway, your daughter is quite beautiful. It shouldn't be too difficult for you to find her another well-off man. Now that the tables have turned, I actually feel like my parents finally got to hold their heads high for once." After it happened, my parents didn't blame me at all. In fact, they praised me for handling it well. "You did absolutely nothing wrong in this matter. Mom and Dad support you. If Mom and Dad had known you kept those things, we wouldn't have waited until today to make that Jew guy face the consequences. By the way, Nan, has Ju Yangchuan come back to bother you again?" But 2 days later, Ju Yangchuan still showed up at my door. I shook my head. The tip I gave my journalist classmate dominated the headlines. 13. The story remained hot for days on end. According to Liu Pan, Ju Yangchuan has been swamped dealing with the scandal lately, and has even lost several major projects. I also heard from Qin Yi that he recently landed several major deals. Mentioning Ju Yangchuan's recent situation, Liu Pan couldn't help but sigh with regret. Who would have thought Ju Yangchuan was that kind of person? Good thing you cut your losses in time. Or you'd be the one facing the consequences now. Song Chuxia was making a big fuss not long ago, but now that Ju Yangchuan's in trouble, she's the first to fall silent. I listened in silence, my mind drifting back to those leaked videos. Ju Yangchuan brought Song Chuxia home before we'd even broken up. They were lost in passionate kisses on the sofa I'd carefully chosen, playing house in my home while I was away. Those late nights he spent working in the study. He was actually on the phone with her the entire time, yet I never once doubted him. I was working late at the studio that day, and when I came downstairs, I saw Ju Yangchuan leaning against his car by the roadside, cigarette butts scattered all around his feet. Seeing me approach, he strode over to meet me. It wasn't until he was right in front of me that I realized Liu Pan's description of him had been an understatement. Ju Yangchuan looked utterly dejected at that moment. His usually immaculate suit was wrinkled, and his hair was disheveled. Heavy dark circles under his eyes showed he hadn't rested properly in quite some time. "Shall we talk?" he said. "No, my fiancé is waiting for me." Ju Yangchuan pinched the bridge of his nose. "You're the one who leaked those videos and chat logs, aren't you? Did you have to be so ruthless?" I distanced myself from him, creating space between us. "This isn't about being ruthless or not, I just want to seek justice for myself." Ju Yangchuan's face darkened. "Do you realize what you've released could ruin me?" I met his gaze calmly. "I do, Jiang Nan. I thought you were different from other women. Turns out you're even more vicious than them. I wronged you back then, but were you completely blameless, after all these years?" The first time we mentioned breaking up was under such circumstances. He still smugly believes he did nothing wrong. I'm the one at fault for being too dull, for exposing his infidelity and ruining his future. But tell me, where did I actually go wrong? Jiang Nan, I'm a man. Your complete lack of desire makes me feel useless, like I have no role to play. Don't you understand? I feel completely irrelevant. No, I don't understand. I said. If you've fallen out of love with me, you should have told me directly, instead of resorting to these malicious accusations. Backslash that's not what I'm doing, I just, backslash, I cut him off. Backslash you just wanted some excitement, you just couldn't wait to marry someone else the very next day after we broke up, and then you had the nerve to tell everyone I was the one having an affair, isn't that right? Backslash, Ju Yangchuan, we're all adults here, let's cut the nonsense, after this, we're even. Footsteps approached from nearby, it was Song Chuxia, she wanted to get closer, but held back, intimidated by Ju Yangchuan. Ju Yangchuan noticed her too, his brow furrowing even deeper. Why are you still following me? Song Chuxia froze, then stammered through tears, I'm sorry, darling, I really didn't mean to. She suddenly turned to me, it was you, wasn't it? You overheard me that day, right? Jiang Nan, how could you be so vicious? Won't you stop until Ju Yangchuan is dead? Staring at that frenzied, distorted face before me, I turned away without hesitation. By the roadside, Qinyi came around from behind the car, wrapped his arm around me, and helped me into the vehicle. He said with a hint of jealousy in his voice, if I hadn't come back today, would you have stayed up all night talking with him? I nodded, that's actually not out of the question. Qinyi's face darkened, he didn't let me go home that night. He kept pushing me to try increasingly complex positions all night. I was completely overwhelmed. After the wedding date was set, Qinyi and I found our schedules getting increasingly packed. 14. Both sets of parents were thoroughly pleased with this marriage arrangement. On the wedding day, Liu Pan came looking for me in the dressing room. I just saw Ju Yangchuan. My God, I almost didn't recognize him. I'd heard a few things about Ju Yangchuan from Qinyi, but he wouldn't let me ask too many questions. All I know is that he's not doing well these days. His company is on the verge of bankruptcy. You know Song Chuxia, right? Ju Yangchuan has filed for divorce from her. The Song family refuses to let go of their golden goose Ju Yangchuan. They're threatening to expose his secrets to prevent the divorce. But deep down, everyone knows Ju Yangchuan's glory days are over, divorce or not. With her restless nature, who knows what trouble Song Chuxia might stir up next. But none of this has anything to do with me anymore. Holding my father's arm, I walked slowly toward the man at the center of the stage. His gaze, steady as the most solemn vow, remained fixed on me, as if to tell me that people are fundamentally different from one another. The end. Story 2. After 12 years of marriage, my millionaire husband fell for the new receptionist at his company, nearly 40, less attractive than me with an inferior figure, yet she'd somehow become his emotional anchor within 6 months. Song Yu said wearily, you can keep the house and cars if we divorce, Shenjiu, just, let me go. I lowered my gaze and replied calmly, all right. Then I bought a calendar and circled a date on it, divorce countdown, 30 days, 1. When I slid the divorce papers across to Song Yu, barely 40 minutes had passed since he confessed his affair and asked for a divorce. As agreed, the house, cars, and custody of our child will all go to me. He'll pay me a lump sum of 20 million in compensation and child support. After this, neither I nor our child will disturb him again. Song Yu was in a conference call when he glanced down at the words divorce agreement. His expression flickered almost imperceptibly, then nodded in acknowledgement. I stepped out of the room. To save time for both parties, I packed all of Song Yu's clothing and belongings. 3 full suitcases later, just to be thorough, I even included his childhood photos from the attic. Finally noticed our wedding photo in the corner. In the picture, Song Yu's handsome features gleamed as I smiled sweetly. Our embrace fearless in the sunlight, that was when he'd always hold me and whisper, darling, I love you so much, I'm so lucky to have married you. Song Yu and I met in college. Back then he was just a broke kid wearing worn-out canvas shoes. Though I had plenty of suitors, I fell for Song Yu at first sight. He was composed, kind-hearted, and easy on the eyes. His virtues were beyond counting. After graduation, we naturally got married, and he co-founded a company with friends. I became a stay-at-home wife after getting pregnant. I devoted myself wholeheartedly to taking care of Song Yu and our family. As the business grew, Song Yu had more and more social engagements and drinking parties. Amid the hustle and bustle of daily life, I still make time for workouts and learning makeup and styling. Song Yu lives up to expectations, no matter how busy. He always comes home to take care of the kids and cook. He helps me navigate the mother-in-law relationship. To outsiders, we're the picture-perfect couple. At some point, Song Yu started scheduling meetings in the evenings. Sometimes he'd work through the night and not come home at all. Friends would joke that I should keep a closer eye on him to avoid trouble. I'd brush it off verbally, but couldn't shake the unease. Delivered late-night snacks to Song Yu and his crew a few times. Nothing unusual, just a group in a meeting while that woman waited at the reception desk. Her name was Zhao Jian, in her 40s. Petite and slender with short hair, unremarkable at first glance, but her voice carried an unexpected gentleness. She greeted me with a smile. All these years, I've imagined this day coming. I pictured maybe the company's pretty secretary, or some bright-eyed college girl, or even that no-nonsense businesswoman we partnered with. Never once did I consider the receptionist. Rumor has it she was married before her husband cheated and they split. This was her first job after the divorce. And she cherished it dearly. She'd arrive early to note everyone's little habits, occasionally baking treats for the office. Some colleagues even arranged lunch deliveries with her for convenience. When I found out, I told Song Yu she'd been through a lot and asked him to look out for her. Song Yu always maintained an air of detachment. The workplace isn't for personal favors. I've already advised against transactions beyond professional duties. Back then, I jokingly called Song Yu a heartless boss. Looking back now, I suspect he simply couldn't bear seeing Zhao Jian working late only to play delivery service for colleagues afterward. As for why Song Yu chose today to bring up divorce, it was just that I'd made him his usual hangover soup that morning. He stared at the bowl, sighed, pushed it away slightly, and fell into a long silence. Then he suddenly looked up at me with exhausted eyes and asked if we could get divorced. He confessed to having an affair for half a year, sneaking off to motels whenever he worked overtime. My heart was trembling like a sieve as I struggled to keep myself from losing control. I demanded to know who it was. When he said Zhao Jian's name, I thought I must have misheard. A wave of helplessness washed over me. Cold and numb, too. By the time Song Yu finished his meeting, I'd already eaten, cleaned the kitchen, and was binge-watching shows in the living room, as if nothing had ever happened. He turned to take a shower, only to realize there were no towels left, instinctively calling out to me from the bathroom, "Honey, where's my bath towel?" Without turning around, I replied, "It's already packed in the suitcase. You can use mine if you don't mind, I'll throw it away later." What answered me was a long, heavy silence. When Song Yu came out, he noticed 3 suitcases placed in the entryway. He sat across from me and slid the divorce papers toward me with his fingertips. "I can pay 15 million upfront for child support, and the rest in monthly installments." I cut him off. "No need, let's settle it in one lump sum. I don't think she'd want you keeping in touch with me either." Song Yu's eyes showed confusion. "The child isn't yours alone. I have every right to be part of his life. I know this is my fault, and I'm willing to make amends, but there's no need to use the child as leverage." I paused the TV drama and looked Song Yu straight in the eye. "The affair was your fault, so it's only fair you pay alimony and compensation. Given your assets, the house and car I'm taking are hardly excessive. I've raised our son since he was a baby. He's a highly sensitive child with special needs. Do you honestly have any energy left for parenting while you're wrapped up in your new romance? Being part of his life isn't just about money, it takes time and presence." Song Yu was momentarily speechless before finally saying, "Bottom line, I won't pay 20 million to sever our father-son bond." I flipped open the divorce agreement. "The 20 million is for alimony and child support. If you have additional emotional needs, you can transfer money directly to our son. I'll open a separate account for him." Song Yu suddenly laughed coldly. "Shenjiyu, I never realized you were so money-obsessed. Every word out of your mouth is about cash. What else? Would loving you do any good?" Stung into silence, Song Yu grimly pulled out a pen and signed the divorce papers with sharp strokes. He casually mentioned we'd file for divorce at the Civil Affairs Bureau tomorrow. Then he called the driver. I went to bed after binge-watching the show. When I woke up, Song Yu was already gone. My son came running out of his room and hugged me, excitedly telling me about the wonderful dream he had last night. As I listened to him share, I cautiously mentioned that Dad's company has been busy lately, and I might need to go on frequent business trips for quite some time. Breaking his usual pattern, he didn't pester me to call Song Yu and ask, "Dad, when are you actually coming home?" He just said "Oh," pursed his little lips, and added, "It's okay, I'll have Mom to keep me company." I couldn't hold back anymore, tears welled up instantly. And I excused myself to the restroom to compose myself. Agreeing to divorce Song Yu brought not just sadness, but overwhelming guilt about our son not growing up in an intact family. Yet I know this guilt isn't of my making. After dropping our son at school this morning, Song-yu and I filed divorce papers at the Civil Affairs Bureau. There's a 30-day cooling-off period before we can finalize the divorce. Back in the car, I circled today's date on the calendar to mark the occasion. 30 days until the divorce. 3. I'm torn about whether to break the news of the divorce to my parents now. I grew up in this city, and all my relatives and friends live here. My parents are retired teachers, and I'm their only daughter. They're very open-minded, though Dad's health hasn't been great these past couple years. We were planning to wait a bit longer. Song-yu called within a couple days. He rarely calls me, actually. We usually just text on WeChat since I always reply instantly, which he finds super convenient. I deleted his WeChat contact last night. I answered the call, and Song-yu's voice sounded completely normal. "Ji-yu, your mom just called me. She's cooked a big dinner tonight and invited us over. Considering your father's poor health, maybe we should wait until he recovers before telling him about the divorce. What time should we head over? Also, next Sunday is your dad's birthday. I think I should go with you this time." I was still hesitating, but Song-yu's words made me decide to break the news to my parents. I just said no need. "Song-yu, there's no need to tough it out. The old man's health comes first," I said calmly. "If you truly cared, you wouldn't have cheated and filed for divorce at a time like this. My father's health may be failing, but his mind is sharp. I doubt he'd want me to stay in a marriage built on infidelity. Song-yu, don't call me again. If you want to see our son, stick to the custody agreement once a week." Hearing this, Song-yu dropped his conciliatory tone. "Shinji-yu, let me remind you again, Xiaoshu is my son too, my family, but you walked away from his home, didn't you?" I heard Song-yu slam the phone down hard, so I decisively hung up and tried to pull myself together. I drove straight to the mall, determined to replace all the bedding, sofa, and every piece of furniture Song-yu had ever liked, and I wanted everything in stock. After the replacements were done, I gave the house a thorough cleaning before heading to my mom's place. When she saw me alone without Song-yu, she assumed he was busy. I stayed silent, then nervously called out Mom. She immediately sensed something was wrong, put down what she was doing, stared at me for a moment, then gently pulled me into a hug. I didn't say a word, but a mother always knows. She felt my emotions and the hurt I was holding in. I tried to stay calm as I finished talking to her, and my mom handed me a tissue to wipe my tears. Her voice was soft. "It's okay. Divorce is quite common these days. Since he couldn't stay faithful and did such things, it's better to address it early. If it's over, then it's over. Ayu, your mother has just one request for you." Her eyes glistened with moisture as she finished speaking, then she took my hand in hers. "Since we've decided to divorce, let's never reconcile, no matter what happens in the future." I nodded through tears. "Okay." After dinner, my parents had a long talk in their room. When they came out, my father handed me a thick red envelope. He said today marks a fresh start, worth celebrating. May my precious daughter always be happy and joyful. I cried for the longest time in the car after leaving my parents' house. I'd always feared I might fall short of their expectations before coming. They've barely had any arguments their whole life, living in perfect harmony. When I married Song-yu against everyone's doubts, they said they respected my choice. Now that Song-yu's made it big and everyone envies us, praising my parents' foresight, they calmly support my divorce. I wiped my tears and checked the calendar. 28 days until the divorce. 4. When I picked up my son from school, he said his grandpa had called saying he missed him and asked if he could stay at his place for a week. He wanted me to take him there. I paused for a moment, then took him home to pack a small suitcase. He was thrilled, saying grandpa had promised to fly drones with him. Sent my son over. My mom walked me out, saying, "Ayu, cheer up, let's go for a stroll." After I got in the car, my mother stood there watching me, not going back inside for the longest time. I flipped down the car mirror and saw my pale face with a despondent expression, touched up my makeup and put on a bold lipstick, went back to pack my things, traveled for a week, glimpsed countless faces and landscapes, and collected stories along the way. Came back feeling refreshed. I checked the calendar, 21 days until the divorce is finalized. 5. I'll be back just in time for my dad's birthday celebration at a hotel, where they're inviting relatives and friends to gather. The hotel is booked at a convenient location near home. With 5 tables reserved for close family and friends, many people have been asking about Songyu. Fortunately, my son had extracurricular classes today and didn't come along. My parents avoided giving direct answers. Right before dinner started, as my father took the stage to speak, Songyu arrived at that exact moment, dressed in a sharp suit. He carried several gift bags and held a thick red envelope. Relatives and friends all greeted him warmly. He waited for my father to come downstairs and handed him a red envelope. "Happy birthday, Dad." My father gave it a dismissive glance. "No need for formalities, Mr. Song. Keep your gift since you and AU are already divorced. We wouldn't want to impose." Songyu's face froze instantly. A murmur swept through the gathered relatives before silence quickly fell. He murmured almost inaudibly, "It's still just in the paperwork phase." My father shook his head, "Same difference." He then turned to urge everyone to eat and drink. Songyu stood frozen in place, gripping the gift bag tightly while my mother politely returned the other items. Without another word, he left. As he walked away, our friends and family tacitly avoided mentioning Songyu again, and from that moment on, no one would ever ask me about him. That's wonderful. Gradually, my heart began to heal, to accept, to process. I shed the title of Mrs. Song, reclaiming my identity as Shinjiyu, somehow. The building staff and our housekeeper got wind of the news, no longer addressing me as Mrs. Song, but as Miss Shin instead. I wanted to keep myself busy quickly, so I decided to open a coffee shop. Coincidentally, there was a place up for transfer with great location and decor that I really liked. So I signed the lease right away. The existing staff are all staying on to keep operations running, but I want to take some time to refine the menu and flavors. Then we'll replace the storefront signage and furniture, temporarily rebranding it as a soft opening phase. Spent the whole day finalizing plans at the shop, ready to head back, glanced at the calendar in the car. 15 days until the divorce. 6. Just reached the building entrance when Xiao Cheng, a girl from Songyu's company, called me. She's cheerful and easygoing, which makes her quite likable. She asked if I was busy, and upon hearing I wasn't, immediately launched into venting. Asking if I was getting divorced from Songyu, I didn't hide the truth. She asked if it was because of Zhao Jian. I don't know why she said that. Maybe Songyu went public with their relationship. Seeing my silence, Xiao Cheng whined pitifully. "Sister Shen, I knew it was because of that woman. No wonder you stopped bringing us afternoon snacks lately. I miss you so much. When I was with Songyu, I used to send afternoon tea almost every week to show my appreciation. Colleagues would often joke about staying at the company forever just to enjoy Mrs. Song's afternoon treats. No worries, I'm actually planning to open a cafe. You should come buy my treat." Xiao Cheng gasped excitedly and immediately asked for the address. I told her I'd send it later. She said okay, then went right back to complaining. "You wouldn't believe what happened with Zhao Jian. After you left, she went from receptionist straight to office manager. Completely changed how she treats everyone. Used to smile at everyone, now she's always finding fault. Can't even hide that smug look on her face. She even bought a dress and heels in almost the same style as yours. Anyone with eyes can see what's going on. Typical Mr. Song's taste." Ended up saying if it weren't for the mortgage, I'd quit in a heartbeat to stop dealing with these petty power plays. When I got home, Xiao Cheng was still talking. After calming her down for a while, she finally hung up reluctantly. At this point, I don't even want to know anything about Zhao Jian anymore. Unlike when Songyu confessed his affair to us, that moment when I became obsessed with figuring out what made her so irresistible, I pushed the door open. Surprised to see Songyu's shoes by the entrance. He was playing video games with our son. Our son spotted me and shouted excitedly, "Mom, come quick, let's team up and crush Dad." In the past, Songyu would always lift him up to make him giggle uncontrollably before coming after me. The whole house was filled with laughter. After coughing, Songyu ruffled his son's hair and said, "Mom's exhausted from running around all day. Maybe next time." "Okay, alright, Dad, when will you stop traveling for work?" Songyu paused, then murmured soon before urging his son to go to bed, after a long day at the cafe. I didn't have the energy for small talk, just reminded him to close the door on his way out. He said he'd promised his son they'd sleep together tonight. I didn't press further, just shut my bedroom door. The phone rang in the living room, and Songyu answered it, repeating the same phrases several times. His lowered voice finally betrayed a hint of impatience. I told you, I'm only back to spend time with Xiaoshu. What are you so worried about? We've already agreed to divorce. How many times do I have to say it? We're not sharing a bedroom. Finally, I heard Songyu hang up the phone. He walked over and knocked on my door. Jiyu, something urgent came up at work. I need to head back now, but I'll make time to come see our son tomorrow. I didn't open the door, just said okay. The volume was just right loud enough for Songyu outside the door to hear. Before he even left the gate, I got a notification that 50,000 yuan had been transferred to my son's bank account. The note said to treat our son to something nice tomorrow. Without replying, I opened my laptop to review the coffee shop's operational plan. A message from a stranger popped up on WeChat. No words, just a smiling emoji. Her profile picture showed a bouquet of flowers, leading to a minimalist background with an empty moments feed. I don't even remember when I added this person. Scrolling through the chat history, I can't believe these messages are from 2 years ago, lost in thought. She suddenly dropped this line, feeling proud of yourself. It hit me instantly. I think this person is Zhao Jian. But hasn't Zhao Jian only been working at Songyu's company for 6 months? Why did they have my WeChat 2 years ago? Could this account have been secretly watching my life for nearly 2 years? I gasped in shock, sent back a question mark. They were typing furiously. No matter what trick you use to keep him there, I can make him come to me instantly. It's her after all, Zhao Jian. So Songyu knew Zhao Jian 2 years ago, or even longer. Zhao Jian sent a photo. When I opened it, I saw Songyu shirtless in a hotel bed with a woman's hand resting on his chest. The red date stamp in the bottom right corner read 2023, 2/16. Staring at the photo, a wave of nausea hit me like a physical blow. I doubled over and vomited violently into the wastebasket on the floor. February 16, 2023. That was the day scheduled for my father's first surgery after he fell ill. Songyu had been swamped throughout February. Despite being on consecutive business trips, he cancelled several meetings just to come back and stay with me. He kept comforting me gently over video the entire time. Just relax. I was too anxious to sleep, so Songyu stayed on video call with me all night. He barely managed to secure a spot on February 16th, and rushed over at dawn, stay with me outside the operating room. That day, despite being swamped with work, he still found time to sleep with Zhao Jian. How could he face me with a clear conscience after coming back? Seeing I didn't respond, Zhao Jian grew even more smug. Several photos came through in succession, each neatly dated. There was our wedding anniversary with Songyu, and our son's birthday. Every time, he'd first spend time with Zhao Jian before rushing back to reunite with us. A wave of nausea rose from my chest, swallowing my anguish whole. Indeed, I'd assumed Songyu had grown tired of us these past 6 months, that he'd grown weary of our quiet, cozy life together, or perhaps it's a midlife love story. Turns out it had been rotten all along. I went to the bathroom to wash my face, returned to my computer and methodically saved each piece of evidence. Zhao Jian only dared to send this because the 20 million divorce settlement hasn't been fully transferred yet. Songyu has sent 8 million over the past 2 weeks, with 12 million still pending. He says there might be delays. The properties and cars are already under my name with no loans, and the agreement is crystal clear, no disputes as long as he honors it. If I make a scene now and damage Songyu's business, his retaliation would leave me worse off than before. The son would lose his father completely. When Songyu mentioned divorce due to infidelity, he probably expected me to make a scene, but I've always valued dignity too much to cause a public spectacle at the office. Zhao Jian just never anticipated I'd agree so readily. I didn't make a scene, not even confronting Songyu about it. This completely caught her off guard. She knew whoever lost their cool first would lose the game. But there's something odd. Zhao Jian had managed to stay by Songyu's side undetected for so long, even playing the innocent new hire flawlessly for half a year. Why the sudden impatience? In just 2 more weeks, Songyu and I could have made a clean break. She actually made a scene just because Songyu came home to spend time with his son. I checked the time, it wasn't too late. Gave Xiaocheng a call. She was having dinner with some colleagues from the department, gossiping about Songyu and Zhao Jian. Everyone exchanged information, learned some new details. Songyu got wasted at a business dinner 2 weeks ago and ended up being driven home by the attractive female CEO from our partner company. She's since privately asked Songyu out several times. Combined with the fact that I haven't brought afternoon tea to the office this week, everyone assumes Song Yu and I had a fight, about to be single again. Word got around, and soon some opportunistic girls were throwing themselves at Song Yu. After that, Zhao Jian couldn't sit still anymore. Sishan, you're too good for this, I can't keep it from you. Don't be heartbroken. Sure, Director Song's handsome, but he's trash. You'll definitely meet a better man. Wait, forget men, Sishan. Your career's about to skyrocket, your cafe will be packed, then we'll talk about men. Haha, my gloomy mood was instantly lifted when Xiao Cheng cracked me up. Thanks, I'll do my best. After hanging up, I noticed it was past midnight. The calendar reminder glared back at me. Divorce countdown, 14 days. 7. Putting together what Xiao Cheng said, I finally understood why Zhao Jian was in such a hurry to have Song Yu take her to the general department, and the reason behind her change in attitude. Song Yu and I are getting divorced, and she could have easily taken my place, but now that others have caught wind of it, they're swarming in. Every single one of them is quite a catch. It still feels fresh and exciting. She's afraid her prize might slip away. A sense of urgency kicked in. We need to wield unapologetic authority to deter anyone eyeing Song Yu. This probably wasn't the first outburst in the past fortnight, but tonight she's dead set on forcing Song Yu to leave. She must realize she's gone too far this time, so she was trying to provoke me with those photos earlier, dragging me to confront Song Yu, making him witness my meltdown, all to shift the blame onto me. I really wasn't going to engage until she sent this disgusting stuff, since she insists on being vile. I'll give her exactly what she wants. I neither blocked nor blacklisted her. The first thing I did was ask Song Yu out for dinner. He hesitated briefly before agreeing. We met at the same restaurant near the university district where he'd first celebrated my birthday. What used to be a modest stir-fry joint had now doubled in size and was thriving. Song Yu's luxury car looked glaringly out of place parked at the entrance of the old alley. This was the best meal Song Yu could afford to treat me to over a decade ago. He'd saved up from part-time jobs for months to buy me a necklace and bring me here for dinner, watching the polished man in a suit across from me. I saw my memory of that earnest young boy briefly overlap before fading away. I deliberately chose this sidewalk table instead of a private room. The sunlight here is perfect. In the silence, Song Yu ordered our meal, then deftly rinsed my tableware with boiling water. During the meal, Song Yu kept sensing something off about the flavors. He summoned the owner, only to learn his father was still the one cooking. He looked slightly surprised but said nothing more. I took a bite of the stir-fried pork with peppers. It tasted just as I remembered. With a chuckle, I remarked that he'd changed. Song Yu asked, "Oh, of course, after all these years, Director Song has seen and tasted so much, this humble little place can hardly impress him anymore. But to me, this taste remains exactly as it was back then." Song Yu set down his chopsticks and looked at me, pausing briefly before saying, "Shenjiyu, I'm sorry." I gave a bitter smile. "People should move forward, that's something I need to learn from you." Song Yu spoke slowly, testing the waters. "Don't you have anything you want to ask? Would you actually tell me the truth if I asked? Are you saying you were still fooling around with Zhao Jian on the day of my father's surgery?" "Song Yu, you can't even say it." He fell silent, let out a slow sigh, then asked if something was bothering me. "Let me be blunt, I need some money recently and wanted to ask him about that 1200. Can you transfer it to me as soon as possible?" "Jiyu, even if you came to me today just for money, I'm still happy. After all these years, I never thought I'd have moved on while you're still stuck in the past. I'll transfer the money to you ASAP. Don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything in the future." After Song Yu left, I went to the front desk to settle the bill, sent the big boss a red envelope to thank him for the small favor he did earlier. He told Song Yu that while his father was indeed still the head chef, the kitchen had long employed multiple cooks. This stir-fried pork with peppers wasn't made by his father at all. The flavor's close, but not quite the same. It's only natural that Song Yu noticed the difference. I want him to feel smugly superior about this whole situation. He acts like he's moved on, while I'm still here remembering and missing what we had. Showing some flexibility makes negotiations much easier. After leaving, I went to a private studio. We connected last night, and the news broke this afternoon. That was quick. He handed me a document folder. It belonged to Zhao Jian, age 41, married with a 12-year-old child. Her husband works at a factory in the neighboring city. Apart from that, Her younger brother has been her most frequent contact these past 2 years. Her brother was also aware of Song Yu's existence. To be honest, I was quite surprised when I heard this news. I knew Zhao Jian's age, but she'd always told everyone at work she was divorced, and there's a child involved too. The real kicker, she's still married. I asked the studio manager, "Is this data package legit?" He flashed me a smug OK hand sign. "You can count on me, just say the word and I'll have it shipped out immediately." No need, I'm not gathering these documents to inform Song Yu. On the contrary, I hope Zhao Jian can keep her husband well hidden for now, at least until I finalize my divorce. I underestimated Zhao Jian, thought she was trying to be the other woman. Turns out it was a pig butchering scam. After investing 2 years in Song Yu with success in sight, she won't let anyone swoop in now. I circled the date on my calendar, 13 days until the divorce is final. 8. The 12 million hit my account during the coffee shop's soft opening, made some decor tweaks and launched discount coupons. The results have been quite satisfactory so far. After learning the payment came through, my friend asked if a lump sum buyout would be worth it. I believe running a business isn't always smooth sailing. Unexpected situations can arise at any time. Ups and downs are perfectly normal. There's no guarantee how long it'll last. A one-time solution is way more convenient. The main thing is not having to reach out every single month. My friend made a fair point. What's in your hands is what's real. Xiao Cheng has stopped by for coffee during breaks too. She mentioned Song Yu recently landed a big deal and has been busy with negotiations. Zhao Jian started carrying a designer bag to work and has been much more subdued. It's obvious Song Yu was using that bag to butter someone up. Zhao Jian's restraint was actually a play for greater gains. This is the karma Song Yu sowed back then. The harvest may come sooner than expected. Like that time at the restaurant when Song Yu and I had dinner, I spotted Zhao Jian standing at the corner outside the window. That same night, she sent even more revealing photos, brazenly showing half her face. I've got everything packed, ready to mail to her husband once the divorce papers are finalized, just as I finished organizing the files. The doorbell rang. I got up to answer the door and saw Zhao Jian with freshly permed hair, wearing lipstick in the same shade as mine. When the door opened, Zhao Jian looked completely different, her eyes brimming with defiance. "Miss Shen, apologies for the intrusion. Mr. Song accidentally left his household register here. I came to retrieve it." She was about to step inside as she spoke. I stopped her. When Song Yu and I divorced by mutual agreement, he took the household register with him. Is that so? President Song might have misremembered. Truth be told, I mainly came to see you. Does Song Yu not know? Do you think I'm clueless? You're playing hard to get, I asked. Oh really? So you think lurking on my social media for 2 years makes you an expert on me? She chuckled behind her hand, pushed my arm away, and scanned the room. Shenjiyu, I actually believed you didn't care. But look, barely after Song Yu left, you've already redecorated everything. What? Afraid you'll get your feelings hurt. As she spoke, her son stirred awake and called out Mommy. He asked if Dad had come home. Zhao Jian chuckled softly. Xiaoshu, it's Auntie Zhao. Your dad's in a meeting, he won't be back today. And tomorrow, that's not certain either. I clenched my fists, ignoring Zhao Jian. Hurried inside to comfort my son, found him lying there wide-eyed with disappointment and hurt, promised him a trip to the amusement park tomorrow to coax him to sleep. Zhao Jian was still in the living room when I came out. She was already leisurely sipping red wine. I knew exactly why she had come in. Song Yu's father's birthday is in a few days. We've always attended together in previous years. Song Yu also called to ask if I could accompany him back home again this year. But Zhao Jian didn't want me to go. Song Yu's hometown is quite remote. Though his parents moved to the county town years ago, it's still not exactly nearby. This trip would bring back too many old memories. She feared complications might arise with delay. She just wanted to provoke me, so she'd have an excuse to whisper in Song Yu's ear. Perfect timing. With the 20 million already here, I was struggling to find a reason to turn Song Yu down. I walked over slowly, lowered my gaze to stare at her, then suddenly raised my hand and slapped her hard across the face. Her head snapped to the side from the blow, then she let out a broken laugh. Not so high and mighty now, are you? All that pretended indifference was just an act, wasn't it? How does it feel, you stuck-up bitch, having your man stolen right from under you? I snatched the cup from her hand, grabbing her hair with one hand and covering her mouth with the other. I dragged her straight to the door. she struggled, so I threw her out. Zhao Jian, you've gotten what you wanted. Go ahead and report this to Songyu like this, if that's not enough for you. I can slap you twice more, one for each cheek to keep things symmetrical. Zhao Jian pointed at me furiously, screaming insults and calling me a shrew. As she rolled up her sleeves and lunged at me, I pulled out my phone to start recording. She shot me a venomous glare, picked up her bag from the floor, and began sobbing into her phone while calling Songyu. I glanced at the date. With eerie calmness, I anticipated the end of this farce. 10 days until the divorce. 9. Songyu's call came swiftly. His voice laced with restrained displeasure. He asked me why I resorted to violence. Even if Zhao Jian was in the wrong, we could have just asked her to leave. Now things have escalated to this point. If Zhao Jian refuses to settle this privately, involving the police will complicate matters. I laughed. Let her report it then. She trespassed first and acted immorally afterward. Didn't this homewrecker consider she might get hit when she came provoking? She even taunted our son, implying you wouldn't have time for him. Songyu, our son is my non-negotiable boundary. I hope he's yours too. Without waiting for Songyu's response, I hung up immediately. I texted him to decline accompanying him back to his hometown this time. A weight lifted off my shoulders. My private studio just called, saying Zhao Jian phoned her husband about offering him money to get a divorce. They agreed to go through the appointment procedures next week. She's robbing Peter to pay Paul, and eventually the debts will catch up with her. Seems like they're pressuring Songyu to get married. The head of the private studio sighed to me. Zhao Jian is such a piece of work. You'd think she lacks patience. Yet she's been orbiting Songyu for 2 whole years trying to seduce him, but call her patient, and she picks the worst possible moment to stir up trouble. He then continued his analysis. Perhaps she never felt threatened before. Their clandestine relationship was thrilling in its own way, but now, at this critical juncture when she's trying to climb the ladder, Songyu suddenly has far more impressive people around him. She made such a high-profile appearance precisely because she was worried someone else would snatch him away. I took a sip of coffee. Perhaps, from that day on, Zhao Jian's alt account stopped sending messages. Xiao Cheng came to the shop for coffee and told me, Zhao Jian attended Songyu's father's birthday party as his secretary. She's been keeping a much lower profile since returning. Seems like Songyu finally gave her some commitment. Xiao Cheng asked for my opinion. That's great. Xiao Cheng gasped. Sister Shen, do you really think that, a mistress taking over? I nodded. The scumbag got exactly what he deserved amidst the masses. Isn't that just perfect? The coffee shop also finished adjusting its products and decor today. Officially opened for business, marked the occasion with a WeChat moment. Also circled on the calendar, 5 days until divorce. 10. I worked late every night during the first 3 days after opening, barely had time to check my phone. Only when organizing messages did I notice Songyu's earlier congratulatory text. After hitting delete, I scheduled a time to pick up the divorce papers. After a long silence, he finally replied with a message, need to talk more, let's discuss after getting the certificate. After a pause, Songyu simply replied with a okay. I continued, 10:00 a.m. Alright, outside, the night remained, as if nothing had changed, but inside the house, the decor had been completely transformed. It's anticipation, and a new beginning. I put all the photos Zhao Jian gave me into a document bag. 2 days until the divorce. On the day we got our divorce papers, I waited at the entrance for half an hour before Songyu arrived in a hurry. We exchanged brief pleasantries, went through the formalities and received the certificates. Holding the divorce papers, Songyu seemed momentarily lost in thought, but quickly composed himself, asked me out for lunch. I've got other plans. Without another glance at Songyu, I walked away. After leaving, I mailed all the photos Zhao Jian sent me directly to her husband. Another month passed, and Xiao Cheng came to see me. She said I posted our divorce certificate with Songyu on social media within days, captioning it feels like a dream. 2 more months later, Xiao Cheng showed up with bags of snacks. She admitted she'd planned to quit her job and drown her sorrows in junk food. No need now, let me enjoy this treat. I served her coffee, asked why she was so delighted. She said she's finally free from Zhao Jian's oppression, laughing like a crumpled pretzel. Sis Shen, you wouldn't believe it, just last week, Zhao Jian quietly announced she was getting married to President Song. I'd already drafted my resignation letter. Then this morning, some guy stormed into the office, grabbed Zhao Jian and started beating her while screaming about her cheating. He kept shouting, "Where's Songyu?" accusing him of being the homewrecker who ruined their marriage. At first some colleagues tried to intervene, but then the guy pulled out a stack of photos. Absolutely disgusting. The others could only play along, pretending to join the argument. Songyu was in his office at the time and didn't come out. Later, his secretary said the man was maliciously photoshopping pictures and had him kicked out. I saw someone following him, probably to discuss business. Judging from this incident, Songyu probably won't be marrying Zhao Jian. He absolutely despises being lied to, especially with the mistress scandal on top of it. Even though he had already suppressed the news, his rival company still found out, and used it to discredit him. Songyu's reputation plummeted. He had previously endorsed the company's products himself, and all his endorsement images have been pulled, to prevent the situation from escalating. He bribed Zhao Jian's husband to publicly apologize and admit to fabricating and photoshopping images. Zhao Jian also resigned from the company. I heard from Xiao Cheng that she also got divorced, and her ex-husband took a large sum of money. Songyu also came to see the children a few times during that period. He looked exhausted. Sometimes he'd want to stay for dinner, but I always turned him down. He paused at the doorway, hesitating before saying, "Jiyu, is there any chance we could start over?" I looked at him and slammed the door shut. Every time my friend calls, she immediately brings up setting me up with someone. I've politely declined several times. These days, making money feels more reliable and comforting. Oh come on, Shinjiyu, you can't lose hope in love like this. It's not exactly disappointment. I don't reject it, but I don't crave it either. Not long after, she brought a remarkably distinguished man to my shop, gentle and courteous. We briefly got acquainted. Both the guy and I are swamped, barely finding time to chat. My friend was frantic. "Shinjiyu, how can you not be smitten with such a catch?" I chuckled. "Busy as ever." My friend sighed, a hint of resignation in it. I bent my head, calculating the costs of opening a new branch. 14. Another 6 months passed, and then I saw the man post photos of his marriage certificate. I quietly gave it a thumbs up. Sure enough, after that thumbs up, his company started ordering coffee from us regularly. The reason was his wife liked the taste of our coffee, and I was still thrilled about landing a big client. Something major just went down with Songyu. Heard Zhao Jian showed up at Songyu's office in a daze, started off casually asking what Song wanted for lunch, then suddenly pulled a knife from her bag in front of the investors, demanded to know when Song would marry her. He went on a rampage, smashing office desks and chairs, sending investors fleeing in terror. Xiao Cheng said the scene was absolutely insane. Songyu turned livid with rage. In the end, Songyu called the police and had Zhao Jian arrested. After just 2 days of peace, Zhao Jian's brother showed up again with a gang, demanding an explanation from Songyu. Xiao Cheng heard Songyu temporarily settled things by paying them off, but she suspected. Given Zhao Jian's thuggish brother, this might just be the beginning. After all, they'd gotten a taste of easy money. Within days of this incident, quite a few people resigned. Their main concern was getting caught in the crossfire if things escalated later. Their lives were more important. Xiao Cheng is also looking to jump ship. She said that afterwards, several companies offered attractive salaries and eagerly took in the heartbroken colleagues from Songyu's company. She couldn't help but laugh as she finished speaking. The salary at her new company was quite decent. Sister Shen, this really proves the saying, "A man who mistreats his wife shall never prosper." I remembered the first year Songyu Gang and I were married. He bought one of those prosperity comes to husbands who listen to their wives' figurines. It used to be in the office every day. Then one day, it got broken, and he never put it there again. And now, even Songyu's face in my memories has become a blur. Xiao Cheng looked at me, hesitatingly, a bit gossipy, and asked, "Sis Shen, aren't you the least bit curious how Songyu and Zhao Jian got together?" I answered truthfully. I was curious, but even without Zhao Jian, there would have been someone else. No matter the circumstances or setting, it would have just been another excuse for his infidelity. After seeing Xiao Cheng off, Songyu arrived just before the shop closed. His white shirt was a bit wrinkled, and he reeked of alcohol. He looked terrible, and his voice was hoarse. "Jiyu, could I get a glass of water?" I had someone bring him a glass of water. Soon after, the shop closed. He followed me all the way to my car, and once I was in, he mentioned he was missing his kids a bit. Could he get a ride with me to go see them? I'm sorry, he's at my mother's house today and won't be back anytime soon. You can visit him as per our agreement. His face was pale. After a few light coughs, he urgently called out to me, Jiu, I was wrong, I'm sorry, I'm a terrible person, I'm sorry to you, and I'm sorry to our son. Can you ever forgive me? I'll transfer all assets to your name if it means we can start over. I shook my head at Songyu. He stepped forward, gripping the car door while panting heavily. I swear on my life, if this ever happens again, I'll walk away with nothing. I was drunk that night, got carried away by emotions. Thought our life had become too bland. When I brought up divorce, I never thought you'd agree so readily. I expected you to blame me, to yell at me. I was foolish, ungrateful for such a good life. But I truly love you. Jiu, you have to bail. I cut him off. Songyu, I have a lot to do. I don't have time for you anymore. Many pursued me back then. But I fell for Songyu the moment I saw him. The only thing that matters is you're permanently in my past. Songyu's lips pressed together until they turned white, words still trembling on his tongue. I cut him off impatiently. Let's end this here. Songyu, anything more would be uncivilized. He suddenly fumbled for his phone and hastily pulled it out, showing me a secondary Weibo account. Shinjiu, I know you won't forgive me, but I swear to you, my first time with Zhao Jian was truly an accident. This is my private account. It chronicles our life together over the years. And then the affair, it's all there. He kept talking, scrolling non-stop. As the screen moved, I could glimpse numerous photos he'd secretly taken of my back, along with messages expressing his fervent love. It wasn't until he became constantly swamped with work, worrying about the company's development. I turned my back on him, ready to drive away. Songyu quickly tossed his phone into the car. 15. After getting home, I casually dropped his phone and went to freshen up. Songyu's phone was still lit when I walked out, probably set to stay unlocked. I stared at the screen, reached out to turn it off abruptly, then tossed the phone into the trash, sat down by the computer to map out locations for new coffee shop branches. As for Songyu and me, from now on, no more meetings, no more memories, no more wasted time on him. The end.